You know something? I'm going to throw this out there and say that the sound quality on this podcast is getting progressively worse, and I love it. So I'm currently at the Yard House, and that's what all this sound is behind me. I'm eating alone, and I'm going to record the podcast now, because I used to record the podcast while I was walking. But you know what? I don't like to podcast and walk at the same time. When I'm walking, I really like to just enjoy the walking for the sake of walking. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to record this podcast, and we're going to go from there. And hopefully somebody's going to come take my order. That's the hope. I'm sure they will, right? And if they do, I may have to pause the podcast to take the order. But, just waiting for my next MRI to check my cyst. That's not too much has changed since then. Just waiting for the MRI. That'll be the title of this podcast. Waiting for the MRI. Waiting for the MRI. That's all I'm doing. I was even planning on taking a trip, but I was like, nope, can't do it. Got to focus on this MRI. Got to focus on the waiting for the MRI. Anyone else would go, maybe you should take the trip now, just in case the MRI comes back really, really bad. But that's not how I roll. I gotta focus on this waiting. All right, so I just ordered the shrimp and rice noodles, which is delicious and has also made me sick every time I've eaten it. Well, that's not true. I've eaten it 3 times, 2 out of 3. However, the times where I've gotten sick, I ate it and then I went home and then I had Pop-Tarts. By the way, that's what I ate last night. Steak and Pop-Tarts. I made a steak at home. I ate a steak. I didn't put anything on it. I made a steak, put it in the air fryer. Wagyu beef steak. Put it in the air fryer, ate that, and then had Pop-Tarts. And that was I think I'm going to be dead before I get the MRI at this rate. Can I tell you, it was wonderful? It really was. Of course, I'm paying for it today. And these, shrimp noodles are not going to help, but I've been eating only what I want to eat, and I've been loving every minute of it because of this whole cyst thing. Trying to enjoy my life before it comes to an end, or when they say, yeah, you'll just have this for the rest of your life and it's no big deal. And then what I will have instead is plaque in my arteries from all the terrible things I've been eating because I've been so worried about the cyst. And that's how I roll. I don't know how you roll, but that's how I roll. I don't know, what worse place could I record a podcast? How about in the middle of a hurricane? This is going to rack up the views right here. You know what I mean? So, I cook my steaks well done, by the way. I don't mess with medium rare. I know that medium rare tastes better, but I nuke the steak. By the time the steak is done, it is black. It is blackened. It is a coal. It's a piece of coal. That's what I don't want to mess with any bacteria. I don't want to take any risks. I do not roll the dice that way. I do not gamble on my steak. And you know what? I like it well done. It's fine well done. I don't see the problem with it. I also don't like eating the fat on it. So basically what I'm telling you is, in so many words, I am boring. You know what my concern is? My concern is that, here I am, I'm trying to build a following as a comedian, right? But if we assume for a moment that the kind of comedian that people gravitate towards are the comedians, people are attracted to comedians who remind them of them. So a nerdy comedian has a nerdy crowd, and a party comedian has a party crowd. And I'm the kind of person who never likes to leave my apartment. And my fear is that anyone who would be enjoying my comedy also never wants to leave their apartment. So this could be an issue. This could be a stumbling block. So I'm seeing the poster across the street at the movie theater. There's two posters. There's Inside Out 2, and there's Minions, or Despicable Me 4, or whatever it is. And there really seems to be a strong desire for colorful, amorphous characters. That's what's selling tickets this year. Last year it was Oppenheimer and Barbie. This year it's a red dot with a face. And I don't know what that tells me about the culture. I feel like Barbie and Oppenheimer last year, like that was what if that was this century's version of the 60s, or that era in filmmaking where it was after the studios fell, and it was, when Easy Rider was made, and it was all these auteurs came along, like Coppola and George Lucas, and this revolutionary movies were just kind of generated. What if those two movies, what if that's it for 2021, and everything after this is just going to get more and more. Thank you very much. Like, I think next year the summer blockbuster is going to be the color red. Red, the movie. Primary colors, not to be confused with the book Primary Colors. You get it. You get what I'm serving. You totally get it. How many... it's been 7 minutes. That's not bad. It's kind of nice doing this while just sipping my tea in the privacy of my own yard house. This reminds me of... All through elementary school and middle school, I was terrified that I was going to be made fun of in high school. I finally get to high school, and it turns out I was just flat out ignored. And it was wonderful. It was... No one bothered me. I was just I was invisible, and and it was great. It really, I have to hand it to the high school bullies. They were very magnanimous in never knowing that I existed. And then in college, there was no problem with the bullies. College was interesting because I went to Chapman University, and it was a situation where it was more heavy in the arts, so, very serious film majors, and they did have a football team, but that was kind of not really, not the crown jewel of the school. And listen, I don't mean to throw shade on anyone who played football at Chapman, but I do think that anyone who played football at Chapman will tell you, it's not the USC Trojans. The thing I remember is that they built the football stadium, like they built the football field over the parking lot for the school, which always seemed, it seemed sacrilegious to me. Like the Denver Broncos, I don't know what's under their field, but I feel like if it was parking for something that wasn't Denver Broncos related, it would be like a violation. We would be upsetting the god of the Broncos by doing that. And yet at Chapman, I remember it was, we need a place for the film majors to park their cars, and we need a place for the entire football team to play football. And I almost feel like they were one major argument away from the parking lot was on top and the football field was in the basement. That's got very close to that happening. You think 10 minutes is enough? I feel like 10 minutes is enough. Yeah, this feels right. No news is good news with the cyst, right? I'm going to knock on wood as I say that. Poo poo poo. I'm wondering if this is too loud now. I'm looking at the. I feel like the levels are a little high here. But I think this is about as much as anyone can take of this, right?